Hey, how you doing? It's a lightning storm going on outside. I love lightning storms, except for when the power goes out, right? I've got lots of backup power. Yeah. How you doing? Interesting. By the way, I used to be a concealed carry instructor at DOCJ2, Department of Criminal Justice Training Division. I used to teach how to improve your skills to people. Pew, pew. I don't do that anymore because it requires you to carry insurance and the profit margin is non-existent. Also, too, did training at LFI. That's Masad Ayoub's place up in the Northeast. You look up LFI and Masad Ayoub. He makes great books. He actually has a huge YouTube channel. He's a lot older now. Used to be a cop. Used to teach a lot of stuff. I remember being in junior high school and reading his little paperback book. I can't actually say the title of his book because the things are always listening to what you say, and the title of every one of his books will... I didn't know this, but I would have suspected this. USAID, which the Orange Man is canceling, $2.6 million last year to the BBC. Even worse than that, it's official. The facts are undeniable. The New York Times is a U.S. government-funded propaganda entity. The New York Times, America's so-called newspaper record, nothing more than a taxpayer-funded government mouthpiece to the tune of $50 million since 2021. You know, if you knew that they were, like the BBC, I used to live in Russia, communist Russia no less. Soyuz, Neres. Listen to the BBC just for sake of some of the classical music and listening to an English station that would make it into the heartland of Mother Russia. And man, the propaganda, way worse than anything I was reading in Russian, in Izvestia, Pravda, or Novosti. Those are Russia. Soviet Union, some of those still exist today. News entities, rather propaganda entities, but you know, now it's confirmed. By the way, I don't know if you knew this or not, just one last note here before talking about some of these things. The important stuff about true protection is that the USS Nimitz is presently off the coast of Mexico, directly opposite the Mexican state of Sinaloa. A lot of us have heard the word Sinaloa before, so I wonder what the USS Nimitz is doing parked off of Sinaloa. Boom! Oh my gosh. This is a good story that has a sad ending. There's a super nice lady down in Australia, and she wanted to send me, well, just a bit over 1,000, you know, right around there. Yeah, which is a lot. I had to get all these instructions for a wire, and I've seen all this information on various, like a guy's at the bank, and he wants to take out like 15 Aussie dollars so he could do some home repairs. And the lady at the, some people said, well, that's staged video. I got confirmation personally that it's not staged. And they go, what do you want it for? Well, the guy's like, where's my money? You know, I'm going to do some home repairs. It's none of your business. And I'm going to do some home repairs. Some upgrade. Nah, what do you really want it for? In Australia, and I've confirmed this with a few Aussies, and this happened to me, that it's not really your money if it's in the bank in Australia. It belongs to the bank and some perspective thereof of the government. Anyway, I had all this routing information and all this information where she didn't have PayPal. She wanted to send me this. She was going to wire it to me. It's like, my God, this is great. Especially considering that I just coughed up over $7,000, money I don't have for taxes. And I even went down to my bank, and there's like a 2-page form with all this stuff. I compiled it down, and then I sent her the information. So grateful. This was all her idea, not my idea. Super, super nice lady in Australia. And she even had me on the phone on Messenger while she was at the bank. And, you know, there's a routing, and there's another one, and then there's this other code. I forget what it is. A lot of codes. And she sent it, and the bank, she called them the scam patrol. The bank called her up. Was like, hey, what are you sending this, you know, to the United States for? And she said, well, I'm, you know, on and on. Her idea, by the way, not my idea. And I was so grateful to her for that. And the bank's like, no, we don't think we're going to do that. We don't think we're going to let you send your money to the United States. It's a true story. If I'm lying, I'm dying. She got really, really, really angry at the bank, and she says you gave them some choice words after they phoned her up the next day. It's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So there's a kibosh on that. So, I don't trust banks. I never have my entire life. Even since I was a teenager, it's in the bank. It's not really your money. I don't tell anybody what to do. I don't even pretend in any way, shape, or form to be a financial advisor at all. Do not. Asset diversification, every expert will tell you, is incredibly important. You don't have all your eggs in one basket. It's a fancy way of what those words mean. By the way, I have a new article up on Substack. That's below. Also, two links to a few things. Everybody keeps asking me about this lava lamp. I think they're like $30-some on Amazon. This is the larger one. I'll put a link below to it. It's kind of odd. Everybody keeps asking me about this thing. It comes in a lot of different colors, purple and red and white and blue and on like that. I'll put that below. I wrote an article ages ago for Apple. It's incredibly popular. I just uploaded that to my Substack. My Substack link is below. It's completely free. It's called Methodology to Protect Your Data. I wrote that for Apple. It's very detailed, yet extremely simple. Extremely simple. I'm really big on something, and I used to answer questions like this all the time, where people like, I've lost my job, I have a wife and 2 kids, and my data's gone, and they had all their eggs in one basket. It was on their computer. People think a computer is a data storage device, and it's not. Sure it is. It's got a hard drive or a solid state drive in it. Of course my computer's a data storage device. No, it's a working platform. In the same way, you know, my desk is my working platform, and this, like, I don't have one behind me, but like a fireproof vault or a fireproof filing cabinet behind me would be a place where my data is duplicated and archived. Anything that's on your computer, you know, it's absolutely prone to failure over enough time. That's what I write about. And people, of course, confuse archives versus backups. Nobody would willingly throw away 25 years of their life. I have data that I've collected that I've spent so much sweat and tears on, putting together, scanning in, converting to PDF, that it's just unfathomable. It's like, I'm not throwing away 25 years of my life. A lot of people across the world have that collection that I put together, but I'm not going to lose it. And it blows my mind that other people, they'll have their entire company's files, like 20 years of their business, it's all in one computer or on one hard drive. It's guaranteed to fail. It's not if, and, or but. It's guaranteed to fail. I consider myself, accurately so, a god of hard drives. And bit rot is true of solid-state drives as well as of conventional spinning hard drives. This is an undeniable fact. I suggest you download and read the article. It will actually save you a lot. Nobody likes burning DVDs, but there are such things called archival DVDs. Now they're archival Blu-rays. Yeah. There's also 2M disc that has a mineral layer. It's like, nobody burns DVDs anymore. The yes and no. The big companies where they have like, oh my God kind of data. And everybody, whether it's a big company or not, has oh my God kind of data. Like, you can't lose it. And oh my God, I can't lose this data is usually percentage-wise somewhere between 10 to 15%. Depends on who you are and whatnot. And that stuff has to be burned onto archival optical. And it's called M discs now is what I would recommend. I actually have Teo discs, which aren't made anymore, but I have a huge collection of them in the back there. The stuff that's like, oh my God, this data can't be lost. Birth certificate, marriage license, important financial data, deed copies, you know, stuff like that, stuff that you can't lose. No matter how much you think optical discs are dead, they're not. Billion-dollar companies have these enormous racks that burn, archival Blu-ray. They're double-sided archival Blu-ray. Now I think a lot of people are gone to M-disc, but there's still both. Double-sided archival Blu-ray is something on the order of like 9 gigabytes. They're coming up with even better, higher data capacities, but look into that. I've almost wept with enormous amount of people over the years on people that lose their data just due to not thinking. They think, well, you know, it's a brand new computer, it's safe there. No, it's not. Well, I got it saved on an external hard drive, so if my computer fails, you know, it's still... No. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. In the case of important data protection, it's 3 is 1 and 1 is... And it's also, too, about placement and the type of data it's stored on. Solid-state drive, even though there's no moving parts, still suffers bit rot. A lot of it is SATA bridge failure. You could read about that, too, in the article that I wrote. It's a free article on my Substack I uploaded today. I updated that article like 100 times over 15, 20 years. 100 different revisions of that article, so yeah, I'm that proud of it, actually. Redundancy is God. Also, it's the same is true of important parts. Some of these mottos that I've actually kept most of my life that turn out to be true and undeniable is that get it while you could get it. There's a lot of things I thought, well, you know, I'll get that later. It's like, oh, I can't get it. Now, there's an important thing I meant to buy. It was only $300. Company went out of business, and now it's 3 to 4 times as expensive. Like, you know, I thought I could get that. Didn't think the company would go out of business. Now that it has, it's impossible to get, and if you could find one, it's 4 times the price. A motto that I've stuck with that you might want to adopt is get it while you can get it. Also, too, of course, bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I think you know what that means. I spent over 20 years, and I don't like the word prepper because when I say the word prepper, it makes me think of these goofy TV shows where people do this crazy prepping nonsense, which is not even rational or logical, but I've been doing in that ilk for over 20 years. I could say that other than a very limited amount of survival medical equipment that I'm short of, just a minimal amount, I've absolutely got everything, and land as well. A lot of people love to say or complain about property taxes. And I found that the only people that complain about, well, it's never really your land. If you think you own land, you're wrong. The only people that actually say that are the people that don't own land. The people like me and other people that have property taxes and land, they don't say stuff like that. Those are the only people that keep saying that is because they'd like to own land. I'm not gloating at all, but they complain, like, well, you got to pay property tax, not really your land. That's why I don't own any land. I could own land, but I'm not, because, you know, you pay property taxes, therefore it's not your land. It's just, I know what they're saying. I've looked at more deeds than all of you combined. I have. Not only for myself, but for other people, and it's just not true. There is truth in what they're saying, but ultimately they're not accurate. Same is true of your car tag. Wow, it's really raining out there hard. Car tag that gets renewed every year. You're technically not allowed to drive your new car that you own entirely on the road unless you've updated the tag on your vehicle. So it's like, well, you don't really own your car either. Like, what are you talking about? My car's paid for. Yeah, but you got to pay your title fees every year, and otherwise you're not allowed to drive on the public road. So it's just one of those things. Your car is your car and your land is your land. The people that keep snooting about that are only super finitely technically accurate, but they're ultimately wrong. Your land is your land. Everybody keeps talking about the price of eggs here in Kentucky. By the way, there's a person that's always in live stream. She's moving to Kentucky here in like 4 days from now, and she's so happy to get away from California. The reason why there's an egg shortage, by the way, is because of what Biden did of the bird coop, the huge mega culling of the bird coop. You know, where they took endless millions of chickens and Here, by the way, jumbo eggs, really good jumbo eggs, not that Costco or Walmart garbage, which is terrible. Those don't even taste like eggs. At Kroger's, jumbo eggs, they're $3.29 a dozen. So everybody keeps going on and on about egg shortage. I've been asking people in live stream, and the prices you all are reporting are just absolutely unbelievable. Talking about protection, and I'm going to do an audio on this in the next 48 hours or less about true protection and stuff that can't talk about here. You can talk about it, you just can't fit in the groove of what the tube likes if you talk about that stuff. I'll be talking about it on audio on my Substack, and that link, of course, is below. The first version of money, people think, was a big stone coin with a hole in the middle. Like, no. The first version of money on Earth was a big wood club that some caveman found. You know, that's a good walloping stick right there. That was the first version of money. I keep telling people that that the ultimate form of currency, and I don't distinguish, I don't confuse money with currency, is force. It's always been force, always has been force, and it always will be force. I ask people, it's like, what you got going on? You diverse? Yeah, I'm diversified. I got 2,000 ounces of silver and 100 ounces of gold. Well, good for you, good for you. What are you doing to protect it? Like what? I don't want to know where it's at. Hey, maybe it's in your safe. Maybe it's hidden in your basement. What are you doing to protect it? Well, I never thought about that. Lead, land, learning, and actually I'd take silver and gold right now. Gold's at a record high, $2,860 an ounce, and silver is right at $33 an ounce. Of course, it fluctuates every single minute, but it goes like this. It goes cash, credit card, credit card first, plastic, goes plastic, then cash, then it turns into steel. This is the next form. Next one up is lead, and the one above that's reserved for the governments, which is plutonium and uranium. The four things for independence, and independence is so important. Nobody really talks about independence anymore. The evil word that they don't want us to talk about and have a community is independence. Independent people can't be controlled. Knowing the truth, of course, makes you independent. Homeschooling makes you independent. Having land makes you independent. You can complain about land all you want. It's absolute rubbish. Owning land is insanely important. I've never known somebody that's like a first-time landowner. Never. Just the opposite's the case. That said something, I just got a few acres of land, I am so regretful I bought this. Barring some tragedy, it's going to keep going up because they don't make any more of it. It makes you independent. Having a community makes you independent. Having life skills makes you independent. My list of 3 things are lead. I'll let you figure out what lead is. I call it HVL, which is high velocity. Land, and then learning, the education. I've got 19 terabytes of PDF books. My main collection that I myself worked on for over 25 years is just right under 400 gigabytes. And I've got like 30 copies of it in multiple places across the world. I've got at least 10 copies of it here. I put 2.5 decades of my life into that. Redundancy is important. Redundancy is also, too, a form of independence, as my phrase is, and it's undeniable in various vectors of life, is that redundancy is God. You can't have a redundant body. Some rich people have access to a redundant heart, liver, and kidney. Not normal people. Not normal people like us, but everything else, redundancy is God. And, of course, the rest is asset diversification. Some people think that this type of thinking is living in fear. And that's just completely wrong. I'm going to talk about that in the Substack audio that I'm doing. It's not fear. I say, well, you got a fire extinguisher? Yes, I do. You got a smoke alarm? Yes, I do. You got a burglar alarm? Yes, I do. You wear a seatbelt in the car? Yes, I do. So you're living in fear. It's like, what are you talking about? Well, you don't have house insurance, life insurance, and car insurance because you're living in fear. It's because you know stuff happens and you're Chance favors a prepared mind. You have smoke alarms and a fire extinguisher and, you know, all these things. Not because you're living in fear. They do the opposite of make you live in fear. The very, very opposite. I'm a huge fan of indestructible tools. I never bought these. I would never buy these. But these were new in package. And 2 hours ago, they were new in package. I put some fresh batteries in there. And if I turn it on, if you just tap it a little bit, it turns off. The other one was the same way. These are 100% never used and brand new. This is the same. There we go. See? It's on, but now it's not working. Both of these are the same. You gotta, it's junk. Nothing is indestructible other than the soul and the absolute. But like this, I've thrown this off of cliffs, not on purpose. You know, dropped it a million times. They don't make this one anymore. They make ones like it. This is a Surefire. Surefire is used by Delta Force and Navy SEALs. 100% reliability. I've used this thing every day now for countless years. I wished I had another one. If I knew they were going to stop making it. They make one kind of similar to it, but not exactly like it. It's a Surefire. It's radically expensive. It's 100% reliable. I'm a huge, huge fan of indestructible tools. My favorite tool in the whole world, other than a Swiss Army knife, is my framing nailer. I got 2 of them. Dewalt framing nailer. They run off the Dewalt battery packs. Well, I have an enormous amount of solar panels. Renewable energy source. Those go to, I have 15 of them. These 200 amp hour batteries, many of them are 300 amp hour lithium batteries. I can recharge my Dewalt tools off of those. My favorite flashlight in the whole world is a Dewalt 2-stage flashlight that takes any form of a Dewalt battery pack. I'll actually have the link for that below. The other thing, it's not only great for clearing the house, but also too for firewood collection. It's a pole saw. I'm a bit dicey around regular chainsaws because you got to be dressed a certain way, and I know how to operate a chainsaw safely. They're still dangerous. I've seen some of the best chainsaw experts that work with a chainsaw every day, and they still have horrible accidents. Horrible. So you got this pole saw. It comes in 3 sections. It's DeWalt. It's absolutely phenomenal. The other thing is this is their high-end one. This is their drill driver. I actually made this holder for it myself out of leather. I got a couple of these. This is the DeWalt. I'll have a link for this below also. I've used this thing so many times I can't even. And actually not this one. The other one's the one that I've used the heck out of. This one looks almost brand new. The other one I have used a lot, believe it or not. It's all scratched up and still dirty from where I was using it up to the cabin. But I recharge all these packs off of solar. My solar goes to these lithium packs, and the lithium packs go to the lithium packs, the DeWalt lithium packs that drive. If I had known earlier in life how wonderful and useful and incredible a framing nailer is, it's a battery-powered flywheel framing nailer, DeWalt. If I had known like 20, 15, whatever years ago how wonderful and useful those things are, I would have gotten one back then. You could take spare pieces of lumber of various sizes and boom, 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 boom. I've built tables and fixed things in just a matter of minutes. So handy. You know, having a bucket of nails and a bucket of Torx head screws, the really good Torx head screws. I don't know if you know this or not, but solar panels have been spiking in price. They used to be around 60, 65 cents per watt, and now they're about $1.20 per watt, depends on which ones you buy. I'm talking about like 200 watt and 320 watt Renogy solar panels. I'll have a link below to the pole saw and the framing nailer below, also to this lava lamp that everybody keeps asking you about. This is a large lava lamp. They're like 30-some bucks on Amazon. But I'm not a person that lives in fear, and I find it extremely offensive, not extremely, but definitely intellectually offensive, that someone thinks that if you know that chance favors a prepared mind, and you're prepared, and just having tools, of course, you know, you need to know how to use the tools. And I used to instruct people in different sort of tools. A potassium nitrate powered framing nailer, wink wink, Pshoo! Used to train people in those concealed carry classes and whatnot. That's not living in fear. Things happen. You know, you could say, well, I've never had an accident. I don't plan on having an accident. That's why I don't wear my seatbelt. It's like, well, that's not very smart. You know, just because you haven't had one now doesn't mean you won't have one 2 hours from now. That's not living in fear. That's being rational and logical. It blows my mind that people don't have a rational mind. It really does. You and me, we can either fight the stupid, or we can transcend it, or we can escape it. Like I have a cabin in the woods, and I have everything I need there to survive. You know, we can escape it. We can remove ourselves from it. You know, you could stick your head in the toilet long enough, you're going to grow used to the smell. I don't want to have my head in the turlet. That's the southern way of saying it. Turlet. Have you heard that before? Being able to build it and fix it yourself is an incredible joy. I mean, I got soldering irons down here, and I got Dewalt tools out the yin-yang to fix things and to build things. A lot of things, or at least the important things that are important to survival, I can fix or I can build. I can't build medical supplies and iodine, and I can't build those. That's why I have to have those. Same as you. But I think we're on a bus where the wheels are broken, and we're headed off a cliff, and I think a lot of people think that Orange Man is going to keep that from happening, but I think I'm certain it's too late in the game for him to stop it. You know, it would be wonderful if that does happen, but I don't think there's a chance. I'll catch you in live stream. I've been doing a lot of live streams lately, and check the links below if you're interested in the framing nailer or the drill driver, or one of my favorite tools in the whole world is my pole saw. It's a Dewalt Pole Saw. Pretty cheap, too. So useful. I love that thing. I love my pole saw. You really have to be deaf and blind for that thing to be dangerous. Anything can be dangerous, including a pencil, but I love indestructible tools. Like I only need one of them, like this. Pretty sure that'll be the last flashlight I ever need. I wish I had two of them, but it's pretty sure the last flashlight I'll ever need. They're that good. They are that expensive, though. Thank you so much for watching. And, ooh, some lightning. I saw some lightning flashes outside. It's weird to get a lightning storm in February, but here we are. Weird weather we're having, right? You get old, you start talking about the weather. How's the weather today? Yeah, I don't know. I always roll my eyes at old people talking about the weather. Thank you so much, and have a lovely day. Make sure to check out my Substack. That's in the link below. Okay? Thank you. All the information there is free, too, by the way.